Kids aren't taught how to work. And to be good or successful at anything, you have to know how to work. I think the best thing for an 18-year-old young man to do is fucking work hard.
A day? Roofing?
I'd get up there and I was like,
whack, whack, whack. Stop swinging a hammer, you're fucking the socket up.
because there's a stigma in this country over blue collar work and over that kind of guy. What about that guy with the ladies?
Welcome to episode 6 of the Trade Up Podcast, starring myself and my rainbow flavored vape using friend Andy.
Cut it! Cut it!
I felt it coming from a mile away. Alright, welcome to episode 6 of the Trade Up Podcast. Myself and Andy back in action. How you doing, brother?
What's up, dude?
Nothing. I think we started to tease last time we sat down talking about something. I think we should jump off on today and see where we go from there.
What was that?
I was saying I think that if you're like a young kid like finishing high school without the direction of what's next, starting a trade, learning a skill right after high school, to me is a million times better for your potential future than taking loans in a future you have no idea where you're headed with. So,
well, I mean, what percentage of fucking 18-year-old kids? You're a kid. You don't know anything about the world.
Yeah.
So I remember some kids did like know what they wanted to do, which I always thought was fucking weird because like we weren't that.
we have a mutual friend from high school who was like, I'm gonna go to school, become whatever type of pharmacist, like not obviously the CVS pharmacist, like a real one, and she did it. And I was like, you were 16 and we're like, I'm gonna be a fucking research pharmacist.
Yeah, so there's some weirdos for sure that like
or just focused young people.
so some people know what they want to do and they go and do it, but a lot of people, I don't know if the majority, but there's at least 50% of people, high school ends and they're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Everyone else is going to college. I guess I'm going to college.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of young guys too.
For sure.
We were like boys are a little more reckless than girls. It feels like in those teenage years, and like I got plenty of buddies who went to college and did good on it, but I also had plenty of buddies who went to college, never finished college, started in the trades late with big student debt. Like my brother Michael was at Temple to be a rocket scientist. He had no intention of doing that. It's just he was smart enough to do it. You know, our family wanted him obviously to go to college and pursue it, and then he never finished it.
Decided to become a rapper.
A rapper and an HVAC guy. Cold-blooded motherfucker, that guy. So, I mean, I think that, and for some reason I remember being like, finishing high school and hearing all the time, like, if you don't start college right out of high school, you'll never go back. Like, I felt like that was the pressure. Like, you're not taking a year off. That's silly. You'll never go back to it. Just do it. And, like, that's a crazy amount of pressure for a 17, 18-year-old kid to, like, just decide what they're going to be for the rest of their life. You had to ask to use the bathroom. Right? Do you know what I mean?
And now it's like, what are you going to do as an adult?
Yeah, it's like, can I use the bathroom? We're in the middle of something. Okay. And then 2 weeks later, like, you literally have to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life now, or at least very soon, or you're fucked, buddy.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, it seems crazy. If you have a skill, though, one, you do decide to go to college in a year or two, you can work through the summers making much better money than your friends who are, you know, picking up shifts at Starbucks or working at the library or whatever. Two, you have a fallback plan if college doesn't end up being your thing. It just seems like a more responsible thing to do than to pile on, you know, whatever $25,000 of debt on an 18-year-old kid that he can't back out of. It's the only debt you can't, you know, file bankruptcy on. To me, it's a no-brainer. Like, if either of my kids were unsure, I'd be like, go find something that's going to pay for now. I'm not going to be like, well, get in there and start taking courses, see if we can't figure this out.
Well, then there's also the point to, if you don't go to college with a clear goal and a clear vision of what you're trying to do, you're fucking aimless. And what's an aimless 18-year-old kid going to do when the first time he moves out of his house? The same thing everybody does when they go to college. Versus someone who starts working and gets work experience and gets out into the world and is waking up early, is around responsible adults, is learning something, whatever the fuck it is. That experience there is more valuable than going and sitting in a class hungover and something you don't give a fuck about.
And a lot of times it's not even going to class, not even, like, you're wasting a whole year paying tuition. Because how many people does a 4-year degree take 5 years for? You know what I mean? That's just heaving cash into the furnace.
Dude, and then there's so many people that get the fucking degree and then they get a job that you don't need a degree for. That's super common. Super common.
Right.
And then you're behind the 8 ball because while you were in college, for no reason, the person that is now working in the company that you're working with is 4 years of experience ahead of you, light years ahead of you. You're never going to catch them. And that person has no debt. It happens all the time.
It's just, I think it's just something that like should at least be not like encouraged. Like, don't be like, hey, take a year off, learn something. But like, if your kid's even remotely reluctant, let him go fucking learn. And it doesn't need to be a trade, just anything that can be useful for him in life.
Or remotely a dipshit.
Right.
Because, like, what are the percentage of kids that are kind of a little bit of a fuck up in high school and then they go off to college and they fix their entire life?
Most of them are dumbasses. Everyone's a dumbass until you're 25. That's the truth. 95% of people are fucking out of their minds until they're like 24, 25.
Unless you're one of those weirdos that knows exactly what you want to do and you're studying and you're responsible.
Weirdos. They're just well-rounded young fucking weird idiots who go to college and make something of themselves. Yeah, but no, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
if you're that person, but that is easily the exception. Those are exceptional young people who were able to, for whatever reason, carve out a focus, a drive, and an intended result. That's not most 17-year-old human beings.
Right. I have names in my head. I can remember who they are. Like of people I knew that were like that. And they just they went to college, they did the fucking thing, they got out of college, they did exactly what they went to college for.
Yeah.
Which that's why you go to college.
Yeah. And there's the flip side of that is some people do go to college without much aim and they fall into friend groups and they make, something out of that too. But I would argue that there's a substantial percentage of people who are like 2 years into it, like, I don't know what the fuck I want to do.
Also, there's a substantial amount of people that go to college and know they don't even want to go to college. Right. They know that they hate school. They know that they don't want to go, but they go because their parents want them to go because everybody else is going. Like, that was me. I fucking hated school. And I went to college, and I failed out my first semester out of Westchester because I didn't attend one class. Yeah. I did not go to one single class the whole semester.
Were you at Westchester for Hurricane Irene?
Yeah, 100%.
We bought cases of Hurricane
100%, dude. There was a fun group. There was a fun group in Westchester.
I remember now. Mm-hmm. I don't know whose house it was. I'm never gonna remember.
Probably Chuck DeRico.
There was a full-blown rumble right inside the front door.
Yeah. I pushed Chuck into the wall.
Yes,
it wasn't a giant rumble. It wasn't a rumble. It was like a little scuffle.
But it was a jokey scuffle?
I pushed.
I remember
no, I didn't know Chuck then.
I was in the side living room, and I remember this big to-do out there, and I walked out, and there was a body-sized hole in the wall.
I pushed Josh Ansbach. That's what it was.
Okay.
That's what it was. But it was not a real fight.
Let's edit the last name at least out of that.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he is
great guy. That whole family was great.
But I was there. It was Hurricane Irene.
We were running around in ponchos. I remember.
Yeah. We got dollar store ponchos and Hurricane Malt Liquor 40s by the case. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I missed 2 days of work that week.
Well, so I was living like that my whole first semester of college, hanging out with those kids, and I remember I called my mom to let her know that I failed out of college.
What a phone call to have to make.
And
hey, Mom, how was work today? It was fine. What's going on? Not much. I just went to the gym with my buddies. We're gonna grab some lunch. I failed out. Later on this afternoon, we have a pickup basketball game. Can you get back to the third part, please?
Dude, do you know what happened? This is embarrassing. I tell a lot of stories that I'm not too embarrassed by. This one's embarrassing. So my mom, she says, well, can you talk to somebody and try to appeal the decision? So I didn't tell her that I didn't go to a single class. There's not much I can say. So my mom set me up an appointment to go appeal me failing out. And I went in the office. It was in the summer. I went in the office and I talked to some lady. And I'm like, what am I going to say? I have no excuse.
Dude, I don't know what you're going to say, but I'm upset already. It feels like it's going to be fucking awful.
And then at the end of it, she goes, I feel so bad for you. That's horrible, but I don't think another semester at Westchester is what you need.
You need to go be with some family. That's fucking
how
dark,
fucked up, dude.
That's terrible. I don't think I could be friends with you anymore, dude. My wife's going to be upset when she sees that.
Well, anyway.
Why did you go so dark?
I don't know. But anyway, I was a kid that should not have gone to college, clearly.
No way. Not after that story.
I went to college. I had a fucking horrible perk problem. We partied like that.
Not a habit.
No, it was a problem. Although at that time, it wasn't super dark yet, the drugs. I could still go out and have fun and, have some friends. And I was semi-social, so it wasn't, dark.
You just had friends who you do drugs with.
But I mean, I did perks every day, so it was a problem for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Although I don't think you'd have been any. Like I said, you're a classic case of dipshit regardless. Like, even if you didn't go to college, I think you still would have been at home running around with the dipshits you ended up running around with.
Well, it's interesting. After I failed out of college, I moved back in with mom and dad. I started roofing.
Uh-huh.
And then I took like a semester off, and then that's when I went to Montco. So I roofed full time for a little while, and then next semester rolled around, and I went to Montco, and I did a full schedule Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I was there from like 9 in the morning till the end of night, and then I roofed Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I got Dean's List 2 semesters in a row.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
I had like this weird little time where I was like semi put together. The only drug I was doing was Adderall, so I could do my schoolwork.
That'll get you there.
And
That'll
I was
get you on
like,
the Dean's List.
I wasn't. I think I was partying on the weekends and stuff, but like I had this little break where I was crushing it.
Partying.
Then I moved to North Philly.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And then that was
Anybody with a small Percocet habit
and that
moves to North Philly, and it becomes out of hand.
Yeah, and that was it for me. But I did have that little break, and it was the same. My senior year, I had a break too. I was doing oxys. I was in military school. Then I was in truancy court because I missed so much school my junior year. And then senior year, I was like, you know what? I want to play football next year. And I did oxy all the way up until the day before summer camp started, like 3-a-days. I just started doing 2-a-days, and now I was a football player. And then like my whole senior year, I did no drugs. So like I had these couple little breaks where I was like a killer. I played football and basketball that year.
You still sort of have like a cyclical way of living.
Mm-hmm.
Which is definitely not as extreme as it used to be then. It's funny to hear you say it, because like I obviously didn't notice then. Like I hung out with you, but it was just regular. But like I didn't do much of like the hard shit with you. Like I mean like we said before, like I would do shit, but very much in like a party way only. I think the party was my biggest problem. Like I always wanted to be a part of the party. I really don't think that broke until like 6 months after we had a baby. For real. And I still...
You still have it a little bit, dude. Well, you were a front man in a band.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And it's also...
Shout out to it.
It's also partly genetic, because your brother Mike's the same way.
Uh-huh.
He's got the same thing going on.
And Marty was the same way, too. Marty was fucking Mr. Good Times. Mr. Fun, Mr. Cool, dude.
Until the heroin did him.
The heroin bit Marty, too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Marty to come here and I fucking make him sit down with me. It's going to be so cool. Like I said, like I didn't see it in you then, but I didn't hang out with you when it was like dark almost ever. You know what I mean? We hung out doing fun shit. We would go to parties, we would go to concerts, we would play sports, but I wasn't like in someone's basement sniffing oxys and you know whatever the fuck else you doing.
Yeah, dude, we were playing flag football, pickup basketball games, all that.
Like I truthfully didn't know anyone around me had like a problem until I was probably like 18 or 19. I was like, oh, this is getting a little fucking hairy here.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I remember there was a girl who I won't name who was 2 years younger than me. You know who she is. And I found out she was doing like 380s a day. And I was like, whoa. I was like, that's fucking nuts. And then like I started hearing like I think I just started like paying attention a little more to like who was doing it. And I was like, oh, this is dark. This is rough. Like everybody's going through it. And then it was everybody. Like everybody was doing it. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's progressive. So like when you start as a kid, you're not just instantly going to be like this like clearly visibly
cars,
visibly a drug addict.
Right.
You just kind of like the drugs a lot. You like them a little too much. But you're not like a mess without them yet. It's progressive. Like you definitely want them every day, but it's not like you're shot without them. But then it's progressive. So if you started when you're 17 and you're still doing them when you're 21, that's when like it starts to go downhill. So like 21, 22, 23 for me were ugly. You know, but I could kind of hold it together the time before.
How old were you when we got nipped all together?
You know me with my memory. I don't know exactly.
You don't even know how long you've been in this state.
Nah, I think 24. Might have been 23 though. 24, somewhere around there.
Yeah. How long after that did you get the license for the business?
After I got out of that last rehab,
Uh-huh.
I probably worked for other roofers for like a year, and then got the license. So I was probably out of rehab for like a year or a year and a half. Not that long.
Yeah, it's interesting. We spend as much time together as we do, and we don't. There's a ton of shit we don't know or talk about. You were living up here when you got the license?
Port St. Lucie.
In the house we were at.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of my line of questioning. I thought we were going somewhere, but that was it. You linked up with Leo before you were sober or after? It was from roofing?
Leo the roofer?
Our roofer.
Roofing. Yeah, Willis brought him
I
around.
thought you guys were doing fucking sandwiches and shit for rescue relief or something.
No, that just we got a hurricane, and I wasn't in business then. If I was in business then, like we would have been
Booming.
busy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just working for the roofers, and we knew this guy that did like all the what are they called? Linemen that go down to like get the power back up. They're from all over the country. They
Yeah.
all come down
I got
and
a
they
bunch
set
of
up these
family
big
down there.
camps. And we know this guy that sets up. He has a mobile kitchen and he feeds them 3 meals a day. All the linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there. We all made $500 a day for like a month straight. So I got out of there. I had like 14 G's. It was a come up. Most money I ever seen. But I was also homeless when I got back. So and nobody would rent to me because I was a criminal. I had terrible credit.
Yeah, dude, the crazy part is, I moved here from Pennsylvania with a ton of cash in the bank. I had my life completely cleaned up, no record, nothing. And everybody I tried to rent from was like, nah. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, everybody's moving to Florida. We don't know if you'll have a job in a year. I was like, I had to pay a year's rent to get here.
They were saying that?
Yeah, for real. Everybody I talked to. I tried to get like 7 or 8 houses before we got our first one.
But we wrote you that offer letter.
No, that was to buy my house. To get my rental, you had to go pay in cash. You paid the
Oh yeah,
First
right over
license
here.
security.
I remember
Yeah.
dropping a check off.
Yeah, I had the cleanest record available. I was plumb with cash, and they wouldn't rent it to me. I had to pay a whole year rent in advance.
Mhm.
You somehow got a crib off of somebody, no problem. I guess it's a little problem.
I got lucky. I finally. Oh, dude, I was living with this 90-year-old crazy lady renting a room off her.
We gotta make a movie about your brother. That's the craziest thing.
Dude,
ever.
I was trying so hard to find a place to live, but I had the criminal background. My credit was shot. Nobody would rent to me, and I'm renting this room off an insane 90-year-old woman. Her house smelled weird, and I'm in this like little creepy guest room, and I couldn't find a place to live. I had to live there for like a month and a half, and then I finally ran into someone up here that rent me that house.
So it was just you worked for roofers for a year, and then you were like, I gotta get serious about it, or what?
Nah, dude, you know me. I'm a fucking stubborn.
You're psycho.
Yeah, so like I was just so angry at the companies that I was working for. I was a motherfucker, dude. I would scream at people.
Mm-hmm.
You think Milton's bad? I was screaming at people.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, and I've always seen it on guys in blue collar, but there are guys who are like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's two things. One, they're either the best there fucking is, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, well, I'm just gonna have to let this guy scream at me because he's getting it all done. Or they're the easiest person in the world to just be like, shut the fuck up already, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing about Leo is, I do think that obviously Leo's excellent at what he does, but I do think he was like, sort of doing exactly what he saw you do the whole time when I first started. He would just fucking bark. He called me 10 times in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
To a point where I called you, I was like, dude, you gotta call Leo. I'm gonna fucking kill him when I get back there. Like, I'm trying my best. But I think that he learned that from you, and you do need it. Like, and especially with like these roofers.
Well, dude,
jerking these dudes around.
this is the thing. When you're a fucking roofer
Mhm.
and you show up to the job, you just expect that everything should be there. I'm fucking busting my ass. If something's not here, you need to get it here right now.
Right.
And then you have the whole thing that like, I'm out here busting my ass and you're fucking making all this money in the office. Give me my shit. You're slowing me up.
Right.
So yeah, you yell. You yell at people. I was just like them. You have no idea how hard it is to make everything perfect for them every single day. It's fucking hard.
Right.
We try our best. I try my best, but it's fucking hard to do it. But it's just, that's all it is. Like if shit's missing, they're waiting on something, you get all in your head like, I'm fucking out here working. They can't even give me my shit. They're slowing me up. I'm not making money.
I said it to one point at Leo. I was like, just know that like, when I'm not here, I'm not taking a nap. I'm trying to make sure there's work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to go. I have to talk to these people. Like, when it was just me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's different. If you know, they need something, we should be able to get it to them quick.
Yeah.
But then it was like, you know, we were fucking everywhere trying
Mm-hmm.
to, trying to get shit done. And, you know, he didn't seem to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But he came around big time. That's my dog, too.
Yeah, they're easy now. And like he calls Kaysen and Ezekiel and like there's not,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't whine too much. It's all pretty smooth right now. For now.
I got a question for you. It's a topic switch, but I thought of it today when I was driving. I was like, you know what? I'll save it. I'll ask him on the podcast. When I was moving here and telling people I was coming here, we're friends first, and then we did this business stuff. And I would tell people that I was coming down here to do this business stuff with you,
Mm-hmm.
and almost everybody was like, "That's messy. Don't do that." Like, you can't be in business with a friend. That's gonna fuck your friendship up. That's not gonna work. Push comes to shove. It's gonna be business first. The whole thing. Everybody's just warning against it. Why do you think it isn't that way? Or did you have concerns that it would be?
I remember that my thoughts were, it's early. If I'm going to bring in someone like you that I can count on, I'd rather it be my friend, because if it's going to be hard, you'll hang in there a little longer because you're my buddy. So that was my thought. So I viewed it as a good thing. I've heard people say, like, you don't really want to, like my dad, for example, he was in business with a lot of his brothers, and it was fucked up.
Right.
And he told me that. But I wasn't super fearful about it. I don't know. But why do I think it's gone smooth? I don't really know. I mean, it's gotten better. We've grown. It's working.
Right. I was sort of thinking about it from the perspective of, I had frustrations with my business in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that your frustrations as the guy trying to grow it are like real as shit. Like, I had an understanding of what that was. And I did get fucking miserable for a little bit. But like, I was able to soldier through it because I knew we were doing it. It felt like we were doing it. But it did get miserable for a little bit. But for whatever reason, whether it's, like I said, I had an understanding of what it might be, or that we were able to just kind of like switch it off for the most part when we weren't working and it wasn't like strict. Because like, I can remember in my head times where we've been like snippy on the phone about shit. Not arguing, but like both kind of being dicks about stuff. And then hang up the phone and not feel like I'm mad at you because we were like, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never felt that once. We're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Never.
Like, I'll hang up the phone and I'm like, this motherfucker when I'm done. It's not like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I couldn't figure it out either. I wanted to ask you because I was thinking of it like that. I was thinking maybe it's just because like I understand that someone has to be doing the shit I'm doing because you're doing the shit you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I struggle with that big time with my business in Pennsylvania. I would argue with everyone over everything while I was trying to grow. Like, it would be like, hey, can you do a replacement for me this weekend? Yeah. They'd call me on Friday and be like, oh, I got something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, all right, like, you just fucked me. My Saturday's full. You were working and now you're not. You fucked me. You know what I mean? Like,
well, dude, I just had this conversation with Carson because he had said that was like something that's going on, like people fucking him, and he's got a schedule and people are bailing on him, dumpster guys, crews, everything. And at this time, Saturday, like, were they working other places and helping you out too?
yeah.
That's the hardest part in early on, is because like you're selling jobs, you've got jobs set up, but your labor is part-timers.
Yeah.
So you can't count on
Exactly.
part-timers.
Exactly.
When we have a bunch of guys that are full-time with us every day, you can count on them. Like, I know Ezekiel's going to be in the shop tomorrow to clean up jobs. I know it because it's what he does.
Yep.
And like the crews, they work for us every single day. That's why we're able to mow through work. Dude, we get a lot of work done for only having 2 full-time crews.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, they're huge crews, 14 and 12. It's like they're big-ass crews.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of work done. You know? If someone said you do $11 million with 2 crews, they'd be like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
But obviously we have sub crews we use, but they're not full time.
Yeah, and they pepper in on install. It's our tear off's the only tear off.
It's insane. 1 tear off crew, 11 million. It's insane.
Yeah, so I guess that obviously I was trying to staff work with side jobbers. But even outside of that, like, that would be something that I would set up appointments for myself to try to like go and land work on a Saturday, and somebody called out Friday, and I can't get there until Wednesday or whatever it may be. The jobs are sold by the time I could get there. They have no heat. They have no air conditioning. But I already told somebody I'm going to put their air conditioning in. Like, that kind of shit. Like, I knew and felt like I couldn't bail. For like, if I don't know if you'll remember, but I would tell you if I needed a Saturday off, like weeks in advance. Because I knew it would be your Saturday spent doing what I would do on that Saturday. But I knew I couldn't bail on it because I knew what we were trying to get it to be.
And now you don't even work Saturdays. Yeah.
I say that, but I have an appointment tomorrow at 2 minutes from my house. Don't do that to me.
No, but that part's hard early on. I remember that when I didn't have work for crews every day, and like You tell the customer a certain day because you have to tell them a certain day. They're expecting you to tell them a certain day, but they don't realize that you don't have a crew that you can absolutely 100% count on to be there that day.
Right.
And then you try, like, hey, can you be there Wednesday for me? I'll see how this job goes.
Right.
We'll see. It's fucked up.
The answer is no. They just don't want you to give the work to another crew.
You have no leverage in the beginning. Like
Right.
now we have a ton of leverage. Whether it's Hunter with the dumps, we can, dude, I can call him right now and say, hey, Hunter, I need 6 dumps tomorrow. I'm sorry. But like we,
oh man, I gotta hire a bunch of guys, but I'll do it for you, man. I'll do it for you.
right, and then like same thing with ABC and Dynamic. Like, hey, dude, I fucked up, but I need this metal tomorrow. Like we've been in business with them for so long, we treat them good. We're a good customer.
Right.
They take care of us. But you have no leverage in the beginning. You're just a kid.
Yeah. That's it. I guess that was. I guess I still don't know the answer as to why we're not nasty about it at all.
Well, we hang too. Although we haven't hung consistently the whole time.
No, not until recently. We didn't hang. We hung a little in the
A
beginning.
little.
A little in the beginning. You would come over for UFC. But that was it. We do hang out at work. Like, we're buddies at work. Mm-hmm. We are serious when shit's serious, but outside of that, it's just like, a little light.
Yeah, like Regina came in today.
Mm-hmm.
Our rep from ABC. She's like, dude, you guys are so fun. She's
She
like,
was so
I
fun.
love coming here.
Yeah, she was
She's like,
so
you have
fun.
no idea. I go to roofers' offices all the time. And it's like everybody's angry and jaded and like grumpy. And she's like, you guys are just over here playing.
Yeah, but that's 100% just you and I. Like, we're over here pitching this story of blue-collar life. It's not always that way. But it is what you make it if you work for the right people. They're that way. Like at Santa's, when you would go to the warehouse, Joe's always buying lunch. There's a basketball hoop in the shop. It was always there was cornhole every time. It was a bunch of guys. They drag it out. Like, it was always there was beer in the fridge in the shop.
Yeah.
It was always a good time there. But I worked at other companies who shall remain nameless where everybody was bitchy.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to do
That it's hard.
more for you.
When that's the attitude, it's hard.
I
Like
know.
it's hard to work. Nobody likes it there. Nobody's friendly. Like tomorrow, Sam's got a baby shower. We're all gonna be there.
Right.
Like that doesn't happen everywhere. You know?
No, for sure. For sure. And honestly, it to me would be so weird at a lot of places to invite everyone you work with to your baby shower. But not at our work at all. I don't think it's weird at
No,
all. that Sam
at our
invited
work, it
others.
would be weird if someone didn't go.
Right. Or if someone didn't get invited. That would feel like it's not like that at all about anything. Now, I'm a little different than some people. I like to
going
be
back,
fucking left alone.
going back to what we were talking about, like me and you being friends. That's a big fucking bonus of why you would do it. Because if me and you weren't like this,
Yeah.
it wouldn't trickle down to everybody. If you were just a random guy that I worked with,
Right.
I don't know if it would be the same.
Yeah, dude, because it would never be like I'm historically a motherfucker to you at work, and only in a joking way. There would never be another guy at work who would call you dumbass in front of everyone. But nobody thinks it's okay to call you dumbass because I do. But like it humanizes the guy who owns the business big time.
Yeah.
Like you're just someone's friend. And now I'm obviously somebody who also works there.
Right, because I could be a motherfucker.
True, but that's the other thing. I'm like, read the fucking room. Like I know who I'm looking at when I look at you. I can either call you a dickhead or dumbass or whatever and joke with you, or I gotta be like, yeah, I'm getting out of here.
This is what Regina was saying. She's like, you guys are so fun. You make these fun videos. She's like, it's really cool. You're showing everyone like how fun you are and how like friendly and close you guys are. Like online, meeting customers. Like it's good for customers to see that. And I said, yeah, but it only works because we've got 152 5-star reviews and nothing less than a 5.
Right.
Because if you don't have all that, it doesn't work. And then we get reviews like this. Did you see Barbara Tange's review?
Yeah, you're
here?
getting your ass busted by that phone right now. Give it to me.
I got it.
All right. Andy's an Android user,
But
or as I like to call him, a dumbass.
What I'm saying is you can have fun and mess around at work, but you got to do the thing right.
Yeah, that's the only
And we-
reason. It's literally the only reason we can. Otherwise, all the trucks would get repoed. We would lose the shop. Like,
Yeah.
And it's not always. I'm sure people see that online and they're like, man, do these guys fucking work? Me, you, and Rick caught 25 minutes to act like kids, and Eastley just so happened to be at the office.
Yeah.
We all left right after that. It's not like we were like, all right, ball's done.
People think that when they see the videos. Like, all they
100%.
fucking do is sit there and make videos. It doesn't take long to make videos. I'm going to say it till I die because I said the same thing to Regina today. I'm like,
yeah,
hey.
it's a glimpse.
Yeah.
It's one appointment in the day.
So, but these are the reviews we get. If you want the best roofer, please call Fox Haven and Jensen Beach. After talking to quite a number of roofers, Matt and Andy stood out. There was no hard sell or any sell, Matt came and went up on the roof and talked to me about what I wanted. He then sent me an email with a quote detailing what they would do: metal flashing, penetration flashing, etc. Their replacement scope is too numerous to describe.
Very detailed.
Yeah, I'm not the best reader. Sorry.
Words really bind me up.
The fucking text is so little, and I'm not the best reader. I'm just being honest. You saw those books.
I appreciate the honesty.
Matt came in and saw books. He's like, dude, you got to stop buying books. I'm like, yeah, I know. I can't even read them.
Yeah, it's an Amazon package. I was looking for something, and I tore into the box. And I pulled out 2 books. I was like, please stop buying books. You don't read. He's like, yeah, I can't read.
The roofers did an expert task of tear down and putting on my new shingles. From start to finish, it took 3 days. The office staff are a pleasure, expert in any way to help you with questions, details, etc. Samira is the office manager and a kind, on top of it manager. Also a delight. This is an awesome family roofing group, and I am so happy with their workmanship and my new roof. Thank you, Foxhaven. So all the fun shit, all the fucking around shit, all the playing shit, it doesn't work if you're not doing that. It just doesn't.
But it also lends to people being that way at work.
Right.
Like, it lends to that. Like, Sam has said that if it wasn't us, she would have already left. Because we did get big before. There was support for Sam in the office, and she said, she's like, if it wasn't you guys, it would have been too much. Mm-hmm. And, like, that is loyalty that she gives to us because we treat her well, we respect her very much, and we make work fun because it's not fun to work, but you can have fun at work. Mm-hmm. Like, nobody's sitting there fucking ironing out estimates like, this is the best, but we put fun music on. You know what I mean? Like, everybody seems to be light all the time. It makes work less work.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. I don't think you get away with acting like that in a lot of places, though.
Right. It's a culture thing. It's somebody didn't start it that way. I genuinely believe that if I wasn't in the position you put me in, it would be different here. Like, I think that there's a lightness about you and I that makes everybody more comfortable at work. Mm-hmm. Like, no matter what. Like, you can come in, when there's something you have to address, you address it very directly, and it has to be taken that way. Mm-hmm. And I've seen feelings hurt, and I've softened the blows after you leave, and that kind of thing. But I feel like it's a really good one, too. Like, they know where you're coming from. You own the business, and it's frustrating when something's not working. Mm-hmm. And when you leave, I can say those exact words to the person. Like, can you understand for a minute that the entire thing rides on his back, and when something's not working, it feels like everything could fall apart. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be a little bit of a dickhead about it. Mm-hmm. Can you give him a break? Mm-hmm. 25 people's dinner relies on whether or not he's doing it right. Mm-hmm. Can you give him a break? Mm-hmm. And they'll be like, yeah. You know?
Well, dude, I also have that thing that we're like, the men that I come from in my family.
Right.
We're rough, dude. We fucking honest and we just say things. So, like, there's a lot of times I'll say something and I don't realize, like, I'm being a motherfucker. But then I'll feel the energy in the room, like...
Dude, there's times that you'll say things and I'll be in the other room and go, whoa! What the fuck was that?
Dude, but it happens to me all the time. I've never been a guy to, like...
Yeah, you'll be like, what's this? Oh, it's this. Well, why is it like this? Oh, because of this. You'll be like... How the fuck does that make any sense? Hey, whoa. Take it easy, brother. But it's effective for sure. And I don't think you're being mean. I think you're trying to make people see when bonehead shit happens, how much of a bonehead you had to be for it to happen that way.
Right.
And I really think it makes, like, because nobody's walking around mad at you afterwards.
Yeah, the other day, I forget what Kaysen fucked up. I forget, but I was sitting in that chair behind Lexi's desk, and I was like, Kaysen, you fucked up, man. That's it. You just fucked up. And Lexi's like, don't tell him you fucked up, Bugsy. I'm like, he's not going to take me that serious, is he? Or is he?
No, he's...
Like, Lexi, I don't talk like that to you.
I get together really well. I call him a dipshit every time I see him. Every time. I'm like, yeah, you don't know. You're a fucking idiot. But he's my bud. He knows he's my bud. I don't think he's getting his feelings hurt at work. Nobody yells at him. Yeah. You know? It's like, well, why would that make sense? And he's like, I don't know. Like, all right, don't do it again. I think about what it would be like when it continues to grow and it's not such like a nucleus of people.
It'll get watered down.
Yeah. You just don't want people to feel like at work there's a club they're not a part of, right? But it feels like when our 7 people in the office, 8 people in the office turns into 20 people in the office, there's bound to be somebody who I can't fucking stand, but they just do their job well. So
No, I think you try to guard against that, dude. It's not like everyone in the office is like, would be your best bud. Like, they're not your friends, but they just fit. There's a lot of people that would fit.
Yeah.
You know, so I think if there's one person in the office that nobody likes, it's probably a good idea to get them out of there, even if they are good.
What else you got, dude?
I feel like we got like way distracted on a tangent, and it started at Westchester, I believe. I told that fucking story, and we never got back to the college versus blue collar.
Yeah. I don't know how much more I have to say on it though. It's like, to me, it's clear. I understand that it's not to some people, but like you're a kid. You're, like I said, everyone's a dipshit till they're 25. You're a kid, right? If you're not at least somewhat clear.
Well, I wanted to hash it back up because I didn't say a couple of things that I want to say about it, but they're in line with what you just said. You're a fucking kid. And we don't grow up like they did in the 1980s where you're working on a farm and you're learning work ethic as a kid. Most kids have zero work ethic.
No Xbox.
Unless it's genetically in them, which I feel like for me it was, although my dad did teach me how to work too, so maybe it wasn't. Kids aren't taught how to work. Right. And to be good or successful at anything, you have to know how to work. So, like, I feel like as for an 18-year-old kid, the best thing you can do, I'm kind of talking about men. Like, all this is kind of, right? Are you thinking about men? Mostly
because we're in a male-dominated field outside of the office. Like, actually learning the trade and working like that. 99.8% of the people swinging hammers are
and I think the best thing for an 18-year-old young man to do is fucking work hard.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were talking about finding routine, getting up early.
Yeah, the discipline of getting up early, but even just fucking the physical work.
Yeah.
Like, especially now, most kids are fucking pussies. If I brought, I would say maybe 5% of kids at Martin, what's the high school called?
Martin County High School.
Or Jensen Beach High School. How many of them could last a day roofing?
A day? Roofing?
What percentage?
4.
To me, that's a problem. That, like, our kids are that soft. They're that wanting to be comfortable and sit on a computer and play video games. That the best thing they can do at 18 is to work hard. And now roofing's probably one.
Yeah, that's probably, why I said roofing.
It's probably the hardest
one. The answer of roofing is that's hard work.
But even if you just work with your uncle doing carpentry for a year after high school and then move on and go to college and do something else, that year is going to change you. You're going to be more of a man, more of a confident, respectable man because you did that year with your uncle.
Right, you'll find some degree of self-assurance in that.
And work ethic. Yeah. And ability to do shitty things. And just all of it.
Some folks just don't have to. I used to, when we would get new guys at Santa's, like new young guys, I used to fucking hammer nails into 2x4s, like framed counters, and be like, you got to hit these 6 nails in before I give you anything to do. And if they couldn't do it, I would for real be like, all right, you got to clean up apartments. I'm like, if you can't swing a hammer, I'm like, you practice. We'll try again next week. But you
have to learn how to swing a hammer though.
Right, but like,
and like to hit the nail clean every time. That's a skill that you learn.
You don't have to hit the nail clean every time in that test I'm giving people, but you got to make contact with the nail fucking once. Sorry.
No, but that's a skill that can be learned.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I remember hanging soffit with my cousin. It was like early, like I was brand new. So you're like up on this big 2-story ladder. You're standing on the ladder and you're nailing up.
That's hard.
Into the bottom of the fascia.
That's hard.
And dude, my cousin, he was old. And I think of him as my uncle, but he's my cousin. He would do it in like, bop, 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 bop.
Dude, the first time
I'd get up there and I was like,
whack, 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 whack. Stop swinging a hammer. You're fucking the soffit up.
But I remember it's a skill. Dude, and some carpenter, his name's Tom. I forget his last name. The man, dude. Him and his son did the best work ever. They knew how to do everything. And they loved when my dad gave me to them because I was like the best helper ever. He said the most simplest thing one day to me, and it fucking changed my hammer game for the rest of my life. I was probably 18. And he was watching me struggle. We were installing windows, and when you're nailing the nail fin, you gotta be careful because the window's right there, and you're in the. I mean, you gotta really fuck up to hit the window, but you could hit like the outside of the window frame. Yeah, so like
and destroy anything.
And I was just nervous about hitting that way, so like I was fucking me up. And he's like, hey, let me tell you something. He's like, just stare at that nail head. He's like, you see the little designs on the nail head, the little texture to it? He's like, just pick out a little spot and just stare at it. Dude, and he told me that, and I was like, okay. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. It was that simple?
You mean to tell me all I had to do was look at it?
But dude, that's the truth. It's the same thing in basketball. Like, look at the front hook that's holding the net on the front of the rim.
Yeah.
Just stare at that when you shoot, and it makes a fucking difference.
We were shooting foul shots at the YMCA when we were like 14, and you said that to me. I was like, I'm sick of being shitty at basketball. At Julius's every week. You're like, dude, you just got to make close buckets. You don't have to shoot threes. You're like, just stay within the arches, stare at that hook on the front, and just get it right over it. Didn't work. I fucking suck at basketball.
Basketball's hard.
Yeah.
Basketball's hard. Hammer and nail's a little easier than making a free throw.
Yeah, but it was also fun to watch the kids that I'd be like, all right, dude, just clean up apartments. We'll try again in a couple days. It was fun to watch them, like, you catch them after lunch or whatever, trying to fucking hammer nails in. And, like, it was known that I would do it to everybody. So my brother was on my crew for a while, and there were guys that worked with us for a while. They would help them. And then all of a sudden the kids hammering nails. And then you got them banging together ductwork. And, like, you could watch somebody learn a skill, and you're like, I wasn't doing it to be a dick, like, yo, if you can't hammer a fucking nail, get out of here. But, like, make a game out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make them want to learn how to do it.
Dude, I think anybody can learn any trade as long as you're not a complete pussy. Like, I think that some people probably have an inclination to be better at it. But as far as learn the trade and be productive in it, none of it's rocket science. It's just using your hands to do shit. It's all just like skills with your hands.
There's such a thing as a mechanical inclination, though. Like,
For sure.
There's guys who can hammer two boards together, and there's guys who can fucking build a spiral staircase archway out of wood. Like, that's a difference. That guy has an inclination toward a trade.
It's in his mind, though, to, like, really, like, want to be good at it.
Right. Like, I believe I have a mechanical inclination. Like, I can pick up tools. I can fix shit that I don't know anything about. Because, like, just for some reason, I can easily understand the way things work and work on them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like the roofers. I can work hard.
See,
It'll snatch my spirit.
I'm more on that side. I'm way less mechanically savvy than you.
Right, but you're
like, if you ask me to, like, fix something goofy that I've never seen before.
Or something not that goofy, like an envelope. Andy can't open an envelope without help from his friends. He's got roofing hands and heavy weightlifting hands.
Or boxes, dude.
Boxes will get you.
Fucking yeah, so, like, you're really good at a lot of different things. That's not me. But I always thought that was because my dad was more bougie as, like, I was, like, a kid growing up. So, like, my dad never did shit anymore. His working days were over. Mm-hmm. So, like, I never seen it around the house. I was never helping him with shit around the house. Like, I feel like you were.
I really think it came from having to learn HVAC and learn it at, like, a high level because it's so intricate. Like, the understanding of the way a heating and air conditioning system work is, like, there's a lot of parts.
Yeah, like, that's not for me. Yeah. And I know that that's not for me. But I also feel like I could learn it. For sure I could learn it.
You could definitely learn it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you can learn anything. But I'm definitely on the just brute force work side. Like, I can just work harder than everybody.
No, you have both. You've just never refined a mechanical skill.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I believe I could, if we strap what we're doing, I think in 6 months I could teach you how to put it here and make it start. But
those days are long gone, dude. I don't do shit anymore.
We're pussies these days.
The only thing I do around here is my laundry. Everything else is done for me. I do nothing. I don't change smoke alarm batteries.
Oh my god.
I did it.
My favorite part about it is I was on the phone with him. And it's like, I'll yell just to be funny. And we're just talking on the phone and I hear chirp and I go, change your fucking smoke alarm battery, scumbag. And he was like, dude, it's been going on for like 6 months. And then my wife in the background goes, I heard it in his last video. I started dying. It is funny as shit that it was going off. And I came back, you were like, would you send me a picture of the smoke alarm?
I sent you a picture of the battery.
And he was like, I fixed it. And then I came over here and that one looks like that. I was like, you didn't fix anything. You ripped them out.
Dude, when I was a young kid, I remember it was going off in the middle of the night one time.
Going off or chirping like it was dead?
Chirping like it was dead. And my dad fucking hit it with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
He hit it with a baseball bat.
I have that.
Yeah.
I was on the phone with you and heard it once and was like, motherfucker, dude, do something about it. I can't believe you were living like that. I'd have burnt the house down.
Dude, it's the same thing with the seatbelt beeper. I just decided I'm not going to hear that noise anymore. You have to say something to me. Like, someone else has to be like, what is that?
He calls me and I go, hello, and almost every time, boom, boom, boom. And I go, buckle your fucking seatbelt before you call me, please. I did it today.
Mm-hmm.
It's constant. He doesn't wear a seatbelt. He just listens to a sound.
It turns off.
No, it doesn't. You turn it off. It's always on. Every time you call me, you're like, nah,
Well,
turn
dude,
it off.
because I usually I get in the truck and then I make some calls. So I call you as soon as I get in the truck.
Don't wait till it turns off. Call me when you're about to get out of the truck. This is harder than it looks, dude. I feel like we were on the topic of something. We got the smoke alarms. How'd we get there? Oh, skills. Back to that. I do believe that there are guys who just can't get it. Like, I've worked with guys who worked in the trade for a couple of years and, like, could never piece together doing the simple tasks that are how you start to. But I've also
But did they want to? And were they trying? Or were they fucking dipshits?
That's tough to mesh out. Because, like I said, there are guys who will push a broom and be a laborer for their entire career. So that's difficult to give a yes or no to. But, like, you know, I feel like there were guys who thought they were doing a good job and not doing a good job and thought they were getting a lot done.
Yeah, they're called butchers. Common word for it.
Yeah,
butchers.
That's the word. I know a couple of butchers these days.
Yeah, I mean, so there's definitely, like, some people get good and some people don't. For sure. I mean, even on Leo's crew.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the guys on Leo's crew want to learn how to do all the intricate flashings and all the
Shout out
tough
to
shit.
My motherfucking boy Messi, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the best.
Exactly.
He's the
And then other guys, they just want to screw panels and work all day. Puma, you know, although Puma learned flashing. But he was one of them.
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
a
like, I'm the
worker.
hardest worker
Yeah.
here. I don't want to do any of that shit. Just put 70 pounds of shingles on my back and I'm going to take them to the
I
dumpster.
can walk anywhere with these things on my back. He is tough as nails, too. You got to be one or the other, though. You can't. There can be no like blurred line. Like, even at my days of like being a laborer, I felt like I would work my ass off to keep up with guys who could just pump out the labor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was meant to be like you know, the guy who understood it all, could do like the fine motor skill work.
Mm-hmm.
Now that doesn't mean there wasn't shit I got good at that was labor work, but you know, I could not have made a career of just banging and hanging ductwork. I would have lost my fucking mind.
There's another point with the blue collar versus college shit that's important. Is that what I think is going to happen? Because everybody wants to fucking work from home. So many people work from home. My sister works from home. A lot of people work from home for these big corporate companies. The types of jobs you get after you graduate college. What's stopping these companies from if everybody's working from home and nobody's coming to the office and everybody's living wherever the fuck they want?
Right.
What's stopping these companies from hiring people in other countries for way cheaper?
I got nothing.
Nothing. So that's what's going to happen.
Same thing sort of applies to blue collar though. People more willing to work from other countries do the blue collar work all the time. But that's for sure a willingness. Like, I don't know a 16-year-old white kid.
Yeah,
who
but
can
dude,
go
they're
out there and
getting
work like
fucking
no one.
papered up though.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
not like
That's
they're
why I
doing
said
it for dirt.
Right, that's why I
They're
said
here.
It's more of a willingness thing.
Yeah, they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing it for American wages, which I'm sure now in some cases I'm sure that
Right.
they're not. They're doing it for dirt. And not in our case.
Right.
They're fucking papered up.
They're well taken care of.
So anybody can do that.
Uh-huh.
And they're doing it here. But for people living somewhere else where the cost of living is nothing,
Right.
that could do the same job that these people are doing from home.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are against or for doing that. It seems like it would be a no-brainer, but also I think we're a little ignorant to what some of these office jobs actually are. You know what I mean? I do feel like there's, to some degree,
Is it coming off that I don't respect people that work in offices?
it's not coming off that way, brother.
By the way, I work in an office, so it's a joke.
Yeah,
But
dude, you're a Nancy. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I think everybody's job is like I know there are people who think I genuinely moved to Florida to be a roofer. Like, they think I'm a roofer. They think I'm here. I got my tool pouch on.
I say I'm a roofer.
And
If
I'm
you
sure.
ask me what I do when you're a stranger, I tell you I'm a roofer.
Dude, people ask me what I do, and I go, I don't know. I'm in construction, kinda. I don't know.
Just say you're a roofer.
Yeah, but they're like, you're a roofer, and I'm like, then I gotta be like, well, no, not really. Like, yes, I understand it. I sell it. I help coordinate it. I don't know. I'm a contractor. That's the answer, right? We're roofing contractors. That's the answer.
The second part to what I was going to say about the overseas jobs is that will never happen in construction. There's not going to be robots tearing roofs off and putting new roofs on. There's not going to be robots fixing AC units.
Not if Elon Musk has anything to say about it.
That's so far down their list of tasks that they want robots to do that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's less and less people
Seems
doing
like a really easy task, though, to automate.
a roof.
Yeah. fucking pull the shingles off, nail the wood down. That's easy, right? Tell Milton I said it's easy to tear a roof off.
No, dude.
God almighty,
impossible.
did I try to make a joke and you looked at me like I was stupid. I understand.
So I think that the wages for construction work are going to continue to go up and up and up.
That was another thing I was meaning to get to. You're absolutely right about that. The median age of a construction worker 20 years ago was like 37. Now the median age of a construction worker, like somebody who's laboring and installing, is like 55 years old now.
Yeah, and nobody
We're
wants to do
running
it.
out of construction workers, literally.
So
it's
what?
going to become the highest paid trade.
Exactly.
Or the highest paid skill. You're not going to be able to get somebody to come replace a door in your house for $175. It's going to be a $2,000 job because there's only 2 guys in your neighborhood who can do it. They're aging out of the job.
It's a job that's not going anywhere, though. None of the jobs are going anywhere.
Right.
Home services, construction, none of it's going anywhere. We're going to need it till the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
People need somewhere to live, and nobody wants to do it anymore. So as far as money, I think that the blue-collar way is going to outperform college. Unless you're doing you're an attorney or a lawyer. Attorney or a lawyer. Or a lawyer.
One or the other. A doctor, a physician, attorney or a lawyer, fireman or firefighter, those kinds of things. It's crazy to think about the fact that, like, my dad's still working in construction at 62, contributing to that median age of construction workers. But he's on the brink of retirement. But there's, like, I don't know a ton of young guys who do construction.
Especially a ton of young guys that are as good as your fucking dad is.
None of them.
Zero.
I got so good at HVAC, I called my dad once a week or more. My dad has a fucking maestro level of knowledge about the trade. Like, he's a genius.
Mm-hmm.
He's got people he worked with 20 years ago who still call him asking questions. Like, I thought I was good at it. I'm not. I don't know how to do any of it. Right? It for real is a dying breed. Honestly, it's borderline alarming to think about those guys leaving the trade and not having those wealths of knowledge around.
So how do we start a trend to, like, let young people know, like, hey, dude, you can really fucking kill it here, and it could be probably a little more fun. You'll probably grow up into a better, stronger man going this route. Don't fucking go to college and drink for 4 years and then go sit in an office and make $50,000 a year. Because, dude, that's
Go
like,
swing a hammer and drink for 40 years.
that's like the number. That's the number that, like, a college kid gets their degree. They're just like, I just want to find a job that pays me $50,000. So you want to be poor.
Dude, and 50 is becoming poor.
It is poor.
Like, 50 is not enough. I could not support my family on anything remotely close to 50.
No.
I got groceries for dinner today. I think I spent $170 or some shit. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody gets by. For real.
But if you get out of high school.
Is it still 50 though? Because, like, I feel like it was 50 when I was...
my sister makes 50. Yeah.
Maybe don't put her on blast like that.
And that was like that's like the number. Like, I just want to get 50 when I graduate. You know? And some people do better, obviously. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you take a kid out of high school and he goes and becomes an HVAC helper, mm-hmm. in 2 years he's pretty good at HVAC. Mm-hmm. In 4 years he's probably really good at HVAC, and he's making more. And he can just keep going. And he's got no debt. Because the debt's the other big one.
Yeah,
that's insane.
You're adding a huge monthly payment to your life.
And for what?
For a long fucking time.
Right,
it's
so,
not
like,
a 2-year loan.
How can you be okay saying, like, I'll be all right with 50 when you're, like, however hundreds
80,
of thousands
100.
of dollars in debt?
Well, if it's hundreds of thousands, you're probably an attorney or a lawyer.
Well, I don't even know what college costs.
I said an attorney or a lawyer, dude. I don't know how much college costs either. I don't know. I understand the need for, obviously, for college education. It's for real a thing. But who I'm speaking to, I feel like we're both speaking to, is people who were more like us when we were teenagers, who had no business signing off on loans for thousands of dollars we had to carry with us through life.
Here's a good one.
What's that?
Play devil's advocate. I'm excited to hear what you'll say about this. Okay. Say there's a young guy listening to everything we say.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? They might be right. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go become a carpenter. But because there's a stigma in this country over blue-collar work and over that kind of guy, what about that guy with the ladies?
My wife's a babe. My kids are cute. my life is good. That's not a fucking. You don't want the person who's like, what do you do? What do you make? That's not. There's no content of anyone's character that shit should be important to. So if that's what you're worried about, adjust your expectation for what a good life partner is. Because my wife is master's educated. You know, she's a fucking saint on earth. And she hooked up with a lowly construction worker. And has rode with me the whole way. You know what I mean? So, like, to me, again, adjust your expectation for what a good partner can be in your life. Because that's fucking insane. If you met somebody and said, hey, I'm a carpenter, and they were like, I'm not interested, good on you, dude.
You were cleaner about it, though. You had a good personality, and you were cleaner about it. Dude, when I was a roofer, I was smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. I had bull in my fingernails 7 days a week.
Like a Marilyn Manson fan.
I was always dirty, so like I wasn't like living the right way to be able to swing it.
That's not a hard thing to do. You were doing it different than I was though. Like I worked for somebody, I had a 40-hour job for a long time. Yeah. And by the time I went into business, I had done enough side work leading up into it that I had enough work that I didn't have to like slave over it. But like
because you moved up and you got to the point.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Right. That's definitely.
When you're a helper with Ken, I mean, you're a young kid anyway. Don't think about the ladies. You're not looking for your life partner yet.
Yeah, I didn't make money that I would have considered good money until I was like 26. And then it continued to snowball from there. If you get to a point where you're undeniably good at your job, there will be people who call you to do the job because they know that's your job.
What made me think of that is because I remember when I was roofing, and even, dude, this is stupid, but even compared to like kids that we went to high school with that were in college, I was looked at as like, oh, he's fucking roofing. We're in college. Like that was like the stigma. Like, oh, he's just fucking roofing. Like we went to college. He's not doing anything.
Did you feel like that? Or was it actually like that? Because I remember getting in my feelings.
I felt like that because my dad felt like that.
Right.
And so, like, that's how it was for me. I didn't start to love roofing until I came down here and started over. But, no, I always had that. Yeah, like, all these guys are fucking moving.
I had a fucking hang-up about it in my head. And I said at a bar with some friends who were all office dudes, college dudes. Somebody, like, mentioned, like, whatever they do. And somebody asked me, and I was like, I do HVAC. Or I do heating and air conditioning. And my buddy Connolly goes, you do heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. I won't hear you sell yourself short. You're the fucking man. And I was like, thanks, dude. So, like, I looked at I had the same thing, though. I felt like I was surrounded by people who were better than me, and I couldn't do it. And honestly, it kind of drove me to want to be a business owner. Like, I felt like then that would be something that wasn't quite so lame. But then I look at my dad, who lives in a big, nice house, who's worked for somebody most of his life. He was self-employed for a little bit. He had a falling out with a partner. It all went to shit. But since he was probably, I don't know, like 34, he's worked for somebody. And my dad has carved himself a very nice life out of it. So, like, both exist. Like, my pop lives in a big old house. He's got all his toys. Like, he lives how he wants to live. So both things exist. Like, you can do both. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about kids. It's the fucking come up. You shouldn't feel anything. Nobody's done shit yet.
Yes.
And that's what I was saying. Like, you're in school. You haven't done anything. You're in school. What do you mean I'm just roofing? Yeah, you're just a student.
Yeah, like you have a teacher, dude. you have a teacher. Excuse me, could you repeat that? I haven't said that once.
It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, is there a clear-cut answer as to what any young person should do with their life? No. But I do feel like if you're a 17-year-old young man and you're staring down the barrel of college with no idea what's next, it's not and you're willing to actually apply yourself to something, it's not a bad idea to learn how to do something that everybody needs every day. Like, regardless of what it is, pulling wires and hooking up light fixtures or fucking cleaning shit pipes out of somebody's house. Like, that guy cleans shit pipes and he goes home to a fucking, $850,000 house and he drives a BMW because he's grinding for it. If you're going to do it with your whole heart. or at least learn enough that it's usable for you later, and you do decide to go do college. But you're a kid. Make a decision based on what might be your thing, not what everybody tells you is your thing.
Yeah, and dude, if you decide to go the blue collar route right out of high school, if you fucking hate it, and you know right from jump, this isn't for me. Okay, just get out.
Dude, Sally Mae can't wait to give more student loans out.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to think you can't.
You can't do that with college. You can't back out that easy with college.
You
and
get
that's
6 weeks into classes and go, you know what, this isn't for me. They're like, okay, $25,000.
Exactly.
There's no refunds.
Exactly.
Hammers are like $18. You can chalk that. So drop out of college and learn how to roof, you fucking pussies.
That's it.
Wrap it up.
That was it.
No, that's not it.
That's it.
Dude, I had squinty Voldemort face.
That's it.
All right, come on, that's it. See you next time.